4,000 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट।
पहली बार हमने नोट किया कि चुनाव के समय प्रधानमंत्री ने, होम मिनिस्टर ने और फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने स्टॉक मार्केट पर टिप्पणी दी।
तो 6 जून के पहले आप बाय कर लेना, 4 जून के पहले वो शूट अप करेगा।
और 4 जून जैसा आपने कहा, जिस दिन चुनाव का नतीजा आएगा, आप उस हफ्ते भर में देखना कि यानी भारत का स्टॉक मार्केट के लिए उसके सारे जो उनके प्रोग्रामिंग के जो प्रोग्रामिंग वाले सारे उनके थक जाएंगे।
जी। Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman shared her view on the Indian market,
and that will mean good message for the stock market, and therefore it can really go up. It will be a solid bull's market then.
Dear friends, never in the history of independent India has there been a time when the Prime Minister, Home Minister, Finance Minister of the country have been advising on the stock market.
प्रधानमंत्री ने 2-3 बार, 4 बार देश को कहा कि स्टॉक मार्केट तेजी से आगे बढ़ने जा रही है। होम मिनिस्टर ने सीधा कहा कि 4 जून को स्टॉक मार्केट आसमान में जाएगी, लोगों को खरीदना चाहिए। और यही मैसेज फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने दिया।
But is this the only major concern where a dark cloud of doubt is covering the Indian stock market? No, not at all. To understand the problem, we need to analyze the whole problem, and we will do that. Dear friends, Rahul Gandhi made a serious charge in the press conference on 6th of June last, where it is clearly shown the loss of 40 lakh crore rupees to 5 crore families, the manipulation to destroy the small investors. Friends, who is involved in this plot? And who is responsible for making mountains of profit on the cremation ashes of this loss?
And made a huge profit at the cost of 5 crore families.
How realistic or true is the allegation? Where a word comes up, the phrase India and the world's biggest stock market scam, and we have appeared before you with the sole purpose of rationally analyzing it. Now, you are watching the Vexpress investigation on India's biggest stock market scam 2024 by the Vexpress YouTube channel. Dear friends, we have divided our video into several parts so that we all can understand this complex topic in a simple way. In our first episode, what is the relationship between the ups and downs of the Indian stock market and elections? A little discussion on this. In the second part of the video, we will post-mortem the movements of the Indian stock market on June 3rd, and in the third part we will see why this historical record of the fall of the Indian stock market was achieved on the 4th of June, and the revelation of certain truths involved. And in the fourth episode of the video, we will know who is the target of harsh complaints and why this complaint. And finally, our most important episode is episode 5. In this episode, we will present to you a complete outline of possible stock market manipulation schemes. In this episode, we will understand, on 3rd of June, how some foreign investors raped Indian retail investors. So, let's begin. Now we will see the link between politics and the stock market in India. Let's take a look at how election results affect market movements. There is often a sense of uncertainty before an election. Investors react to exit polls, forecasts, and any major announcements by political parties. Once the election results are out, the market reacts based on the new government's stability and policy direction, with a clear numerical majority for a single party, especially a common agenda, leading to a positive market reaction. To understand the relationship between elections and the stock market, let's look at some historical examples. The market suffered a shock in 2004 when the BJP lost to a Congress-led coalition. Sensex falls. This is due to the fear of possible policy changes and the hand of blessing being removed from the heads of the then top speed companies. Again, in 2019, when the BJP won another majority, the market reacted incrementally. The Sensex rose significantly, reflecting investors' confidence in continued economic policies and reforms. Political stability is another important factor. as a stable government with a clear majority can implement policies more effectively, can bless others more effectively in their own power. I hope you understand what I mean.
पर नॉर्मली जब स्थिर सरकार आती है तो स्टॉक मार्केट बढ़ता है, इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं कि 400 पार होने वाला है, मोदी जी की स्थिर सरकार आने वाली है तो निश्चित रूप से बाजार ऊपर आएगा.
Dear friends, anyway, we have pretty much figured it out. Now let's jump to our second part. Let's see what happened in the stock market on June 3rd. If you know what happened on this day, you can guess where the corruption can happen. Let's see what actually happened at this time on June 3rd. Stock markets was opened on 2nd June after exit polls predicted the NDA to get a majority. The stock market was moving fast, due to which BSE Sensex and NSE Nifty reached record highs. The stock market was giving huge returns to the investors instantly. In just one day, investors' wealth had already increased by Rs 12 lakh crore, as the BSE market cap was a huge growth. Compared to the 31st of May, the BSE market cap rose to 4 crore 23 lakh 71,223 rupees crore from 4 crore 12 lakh 12,881 rupees crore. Among the top 30 stocks on the BSE Sensex, all stocks rose. The largest is growing at 11% share of the power grid. Shares of NTPC rose nearly 8%. At the same time, heavyweight shares like Reliance Industries, Adani Ports, Ambuja Cement, Larsen & Toubro also remained on the upside. BSE Sensex surged 2,777.58 points to an all-time high of 76,738.89 after exit polls predicted a third term for the ruling BJP. Nifty also touched a record high of 23,338.70. It later traded up 700 points, or 3.10%, at around 23,250, whereas the Sensex rose over 2,300 and is trading at 76,300. The India VIX, an index that indicates potential market volatility over the next 30 days, fell from 20% to 19.2% as political uncertainty eased. Now consider the background in this situation. Dear friends, we know that NDA crosses 400 seats in exit polls. Yes, my friends, almost all exit polls predicted a 350-400 seat win for the BJP-led NDA, which was largely similar to opinion polls. Stock investors had lowered expectations of the number of seats won by either the BJP or the NDA over the past 6 weeks due to low voter turnout in the first few phases of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. However, at this point, the situation was exactly that. If the exit poll results prove true, there could be a huge rally in the stock market on June 4th. Investors will eagerly wait for that. Friends, in that situation before the result announcement on 4th of June, this was absolutely normal. Nomura India said we expect equity markets to respond positively in the near future if exit poll results translate into actual results on June 4th, 2024. Market movements in past elections show that markets perform well before elections and returns decline after elections. Dear friends, if we present to you the 8 stocks that rose sharply on the 3rd of June in the Indian stock market, you can guess more about who benefited the most and which political leaders and media have direct connections with them. Adani Power rose 15% to 864 rupees. Adani Port rose 10% to 1,600 rupees. Power Finance Corporation was up 10% to 541 rupees. Dear friends, this is the status of May 3rd, when the stock prices reached the highest level. But who knows on this 3rd June? This is the highest. It is desirable that there will be more profit than this, and it is a logical decision for ordinary people to hold on to the stocks they bought. And those who do not understand so much about this, there is no need to use logic or intelligence, because the decision to be taken in this regard has already been told by our Home Minister.
तो 6 जून के पहले आप बाय कर लेना, 4 जून के पहले वो सूट अप करेगा.
If the video clip of Prime Minister Narendra Modi or Home Minister Amit Shah's advice reaches them, it is enough. Can they disobey the Prime Minister or Home Minister of the country? On the day of the election results, on the 4th of June, there was a tsunami in the stock market where the BSE Sensex plunged by 6,000 points and the NSE Nifty plunged by more than 1,900 points. Why such a big collapse? Why? Which India has never seen. Dear friends, this was the biggest stock market fall in the history of India till date. Why is the market condition so good on June 3rd, just previous day, where the Indian stock market made a record, and the next day also a record, but a record for the stock market to fall?
3 जून को स्टॉक मार्केट सारे रिकॉर्ड तोड़ देता है और 4 जून को खटाक से स्टॉक मार्केट अंडरग्राउंड चला जाता है.
The Indian stock market is setting a record on June 3rd and also on June 4th. Dear friends, due to this fall on 4th of June, investors have faced huge losses, where almost the entire loss has fallen on the shoulders of poor small investors. According to BSE McCap, their wealth of around Rs 40 lakh crore has been lost. This big fall in the stock market is bigger than the fall during the corona epidemic in the country. At that time, we saw Sensex down around 6%, but here the situation is worse, even worse. Firstly, the exit poll predictions were not accurate at all. In fact, exit polls predicted Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led NDA government to win 361 to 401 seats. But on the day of the result, you can understand what is going to happen. In such a situation, the storm that arose in the market after the release of exit polls turned into a tsunami on the day of the release of the actual results. Secondly, BJP does not have an absolute majority, where the BJP was expected to get a clear majority, according to the exit polls. As the counting progressed, the fall in the stock market continued. And finally, the most dangerous point that we will talk about a little bit. This third point is the manipulation of foreign institutional investors.
And the dubious foreign investors who invested one day before the exit polls were announced and made a huge profit at the cost of 5 crore families.
We saw these foreign institutional investors were net sellers in all sessions in May 2024. Throughout May, there was a trend of foreign investors withdrawing their funding. The Indian stock market witnessed Asia's highest outflow of foreign funding so far this May 2024, where foreign institutional investors have withdrawn about 3 billion USD funds. It marks the maximum monthly FII outflow, but it is no fault of theirs. They can do it if they want. But on 31st May, Indian stock market saw some mysterious movements. The pattern of stock activity that had been going on for the entire month of May suddenly changed on this day. On May 31st, the last day of May, the stock market showed a miracle where foreign investors suddenly invested heavily. This day saw the highest stock activity in the last 6 months.
हजारों करोड़ रुपए यहां पे इन्वेस्ट हुए, फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स ने इन्वेस्ट किए हैं और उसके बाद ये नॉर्मल ट्रेडिंग है, ये नॉर्मल ट्रेडिंग है, ये ग्रे वाली नॉर्मल ट्रेडिंग है और ये जो ट्रेडिंग है ये अबनॉर्मल ट्रेडिंग है, ये 2-3 गुना है और फिर ये हुआ है नुकसान. तो ये नरेंद्र मोदी जी और अमित शाह से मैं पूछ रहा हूं कि आप में इसमें आपका क्या रोल था?
Dear friends, we don't have time in this video to describe everything that happened in the stock market on May 31st, the last day of May. But let me mention one thing here. Adani Enterprises was ranked first in National Stock Exchange's top earner list, and Adani Port was ranked second. We are not accusing any particular group here. We present to you some real facts so that you can have a proper idea about the matter. Dear friends, whether any large-scale corruption has taken place on May 31st can only be understood by opening the kunli of those foreign institutional investors. There is also a high possibility of insider trading on this day, and this apprehension is very realistic because even before we have seen the internationally renowned Forbes article with the title, there's evidence that the Adani Group likely bought into his own $2.5 billion share sale. where it was shown that Hindenburg research proved that two corrupt foreign companies were fraudulently underwriters in Adani Enterprises' $2.5 billion share offer, which was suddenly canceled. Dear friends, we all also know that the company in which the Prime Minister and Home Minister talked about buying shares on the news channel is under investigation by SEBI for stock manipulation. For the first time in Indian history, we witnessed a strange phenomenon. During elections, our Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Finance Minister Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman all spoke about the stock market. Common people are commenting on where to invest or not. The Prime Minister says that the stock market is growing at a great pace and will continue to grow. So it is better not to lose the opportunity to invest. Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah went one step higher than our Prime Minister. He said that on 4th of June, the stock market will go up tremendously. Sky will touch, so all of you should invest, because I say the market will break all records. So buy some shares before June 4th and keep them. This is about our Home Minister.
तो 6 जून के पहले आप बाय कर लेना, 4 जून के पहले वो सूट अप करेगा.
Dear friends, we know that as per Indian Government Act, share buying and selling suggestions cannot be given to general public unless a SEBI-registered stock market analyst. It is an illegal act. Friends, but if you see the interview of Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah and Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, you will think that they are famous stock market analysts. From our Prime Minister, we learned a new term of the world share market programming.
यानी भारत का स्टॉक मार्केट के लिए उसके सारे जो उनके प्रोग्रामिंग के जो प्रोग्रामिंग वाले सारे उनके थक जाएंगे जी.
Dear friends, Rahul Gandhi has claimed that Prime Minister, knowing all the facts through his intelligence report and BJP internal report, said that his party will get 400 seats, whereas intelligence report and BJP internal report says that his party will not cross more than 220 seats.
बीजेपी का ऑफिशियल जो इंटरनल सर्वे था वो उनको 220 सीट दे रहा था. तो ये इंफॉर्मेशन बीजेपी के लीडर्स के पास था. इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसीज ने 200 और 220 के बीच में सरकार को बताया था कि उनकी सीट्स आ रही हैं.
So why did the PM and Home Minister give specific investment advice to the 5 crore families investing in the stock market? Is it their job to give investment advice? Dear friends, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has come up with another strong allegation: why both the interviews were given to NDTV, a media owned by the same business conglomerate, Adani Group. Another thing emerges from Rahul Gandhi's press conference as the group is accused of stock market manipulation, which is under investigation by Securities and Exchange Board of India. How is he giving such a speech? A particularly notable demand from the press conference was to investigate and uncover the truth about dubious foreign investors who made huge Himalayan profits by investing a day before the exit polls were announced.
Third, what is the connection between the BJP, the fake exit pollsters, and the dubious foreign investors who invested one day before the exit polls were announced?
Dear friends, this time we will try to make clear to you the outline of this possible stock market manipulation scheme. Now we present to you the logical explanation of how such a heinous corruption can happen. Amit Shah and Narendra Modi are highly influential figures. Their public statements can significantly impact investor behavior. By giving specific investment advice, they can create a surge in market activity. Investors, especially small ones, might follow their advice, leading to a market boom. Both statements were given to the same media house owned by a business group under SEBI investigation for market manipulation. The media can amplify these statements, reaching a wide audience and driving a large number of investors to act based on this advice. Dear friends, we know that exit polls can create market optimism or pessimism depending on projected election outcomes. If the exit polls predict a favorable outcome for the ruling party, it can lead to increased investor confidence, driving market prices up. And this is why, on June 3rd, the market reaches an all-time high, likely due to the combined effect of political statements, media influence, and exit poll optimism.
1 जून मीडिया झूठे एग्जिट पोल रिलीज करती है.
Dear friends, this time we are coming to foreign investors, which Rahul Gandhi repeatedly mentioned in his press conference on 6th of June. How dubious foreign investors profited hugely from the June 4th market crash in the Indian stock market. Possible details of what exactly could happen in this case. 1. Insider information. The foreign investors obtain confidential information about the true election outcomes well in advance. This information reveals that the government will fail to secure a majority, causing market instability and a subsequent drop in stock prices. 2. Stock surge manipulation. Knowing that stock prices will initially soar due to temporary market optimism, these investors buy massive quantities of stocks. Their large-scale purchases further drive up prices, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of market exuberance. 3. Dissemination of fake news.
1 जून मीडिया झूठे एग्जिट पोल रिलीज करती है.
On the day when stock prices are at their zenith, the pro-government news agencies release the fabricated exit polls. These polls falsely claim a landslide victory for the government, bolstering market confidence and sustaining the stock price surge. 4. Strategic selling. As the manipulated news spreads and the stock prices reach unprecedented highs, the foreign investors begin selling off their stocks at premium prices. This strategic sell-off happens in the narrow window before the true election results are announced and the market crashes. 5. Market crash. 3 days later, the actual election results are revealed, exposing the government's failure to secure a majority. The market reacts violently and stock prices nosedive, as predicted by the foreign investors. 6. Profiteering amidst chaos. Having sold their stocks at inflated prices, the foreign investors now sit on a mountain of profits. Meanwhile, ordinary investors, misled by the fake news, suffer heavy losses as the market plummets.
That this is a scam. Somebody has made thousands of crores of rupees at the cost of Indian retail investors.
This intricate conspiracy implicates the foreign investors in a web of corruption and market manipulation. By leveraging insider information and colluding with media outlets to spread false narratives, they engineer a financial windfall at the expense of the public. The scandal, once uncovered, would not only tarnish the credibility of the implicated investors and news agencies, but also shake the very foundations of market integrity and democratic processes.
और बीजेपी के बीच में जो फेक एग्जिट पोलस्टर्स हैं और ये जो फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, इनके बीच में क्या कोई रिश्ता है? और अगर रिश्ता है तो क्या है? हम जेपीसी चाहते हैं, हम इन्वेस्टिगेशन चाहते हैं और देश इसकी सच्चाई जानना चाहता है.
Dear friends, the connections between the BJP, fake exit pollsters, and dubious foreign investors suggest a potential scheme to manipulate the stock market for political and financial gain. And rightly so, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has demanded the formation of a joint parliamentary committee to probe this potential scam.
We are absolutely convinced that this is a scam.
The Vexpress recommends the investigation should be specifically disclosed, the timing and nature of investments by foreign investors and their connection to exit polls, the overall impact on small investors and measures to prevent such incidents in the future. Friends, and these fake exit polls have been proved so false that indirectly, 50 million common investors have faced huge financial losses. Necessary legal action should also be taken against these fake exit pollsters so that such incidents never happen again in future. My dear friends, we end here today with a dedicated effort to uncover the truth. See you again in another of our investigative videos. Stay well, everyone. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of the Vexpress.